Hey guys, so welcome to another video with Vegas Paranormal. Now in this video I'm going to be describing the Zach Bagans Museum and why it fascinates me so much, because there's a lot of cool shit in there. There really is, I ain't gonna lie. There's a lot of cool shit in there. Now, we recently did the flashlight tour, which I'll show that towards the middle or end of the video, I'm not sure yet. But there are some artifacts in there that I want to talk about, which are really interesting. So sit back and enjoy the show. Peggy the doll. Okay, so this artifact is called Peggy the doll. And she is she's kind of creepy. Like, she's creepy. And the one rule that you always follow when you go into the museum is you never look into her eyes. Because when you go into the room, they advise you to say hello. And then when you leave the room, they advise you to say goodbye, Peggy. Hello, Peggy. Goodbye, Peggy. There's been multiple stories, like if you look into her eyes, you can have a stroke, you can have a heart attack, you know, you can have serious issues. So if you ever do decide to go to the museum, she is one of the exhibits that you get to see. I'd advise you to take it seriously, because this one's no joke. The famous dybbuk box. Okay, so the dybbuk box, that one's no joke. Like, that one, even before you go into the room, the energy on that one's no joke. There's been multiple stories between him trying to open it and having bad luck. Like, every time he's tried to open it, there's always been a problem. And then I'm guessing him and Post Malone decided that they wanted to go in there and open it, and oh my god, it was rough for the both of them. But the dybbuk box, it's, at one point there used, if I'm reckoning right, at one point there used to be 4 in there. And when I first walked in there, my first time ever, which was in February of 2021. First time I ever walked in there, it was just in a case on a stand. Okay. And I think they started noticing crazy stuff going on in it when the protection salt was starting to turn moldy. So I think that's when they started realizing that this shit's serious. So then the third time I went in there, still on the case, and Nothing around it. Or second time. I should say second time. The third time is when I went in there. That thing had wood all around it, scriptured in Hebrew, if I'm correct. And I was like, oh. And I think this was after him and Post Malone, you know, went inside and they decided to try and open it. That's when they finally realized that this shit's serious. So when we did our flashlight tour the other night, I noticed now it's got a wall where you can see glass and it's Hebrew, and there's more wall around it. Like, I've never in my life have ever seen a dybbuk box until I went to the museum, because I don't fuck with that shit. I really don't. I don't mess with it. Just for the simple fact that it's serious. It's very powerful stuff. And if you don't know what you're walking into, leave it alone. Seriously, leave it alone. Or you're going to have bad things happen to you. So, with that being said, when you do go into the room, if you ever go there, and you do go to the dybbuk box room, there is an offering table that's in there. I recommend you put something on that table so none of that stuff from the dybbuk box follows you home. Anytime I go there, I always put on a bracelet, a crystal bracelet, a crystal necklace, $1, you know, because I'm sorry, I don't want no shit following me home. I got enough crazy shit going on in my life. I don't need no haunted shit either. So there's that for that item. The suicide van. Okay, so the suicide van, which back in the day, that's what it used to be called. And it's actually called the Dr. Kevorkian van. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. So with this one, anytime I go to visit the museum, because I go like once or twice a year, okay? And anytime I go by this exhibit, because you got the office where they tell the story, and then you walk into the room with the van in it. I can never go into the office. I don't know why, but I can never go into the office. The first time I went into the office, I literally had to hold on to Mr. Vegas because I literally felt like I was going to pass out. I don't know if that's because of the residual energy. I don't know if it's because it was hot in there at the time. I didn't think anything of it. So I was like, all right, whatever. So the second time I went in there, I think it was with my best friend from high school. Yeah, it was my best friend from high school. She came out here to see us. And I felt it again. I felt nauseous. I felt dizzy. I had to hold on to my husband. And it was crazy. Because I was like, why do I feel this way? You know? And it's basically the residual energy affecting me. I never passed out or anything. I never was that dramatic. But it does affect you. Now, in the Kevorkian van room, he does have quotes of what people would say before they passed away, or before they, you know, they were unalived by the doctor. And it was sad because it was mostly Alzheimer's patients. It was dementia, you know. It was people that knew that they were, I guess, inconveniencing other people. And it's really sad when you get to that point and you feel like you're an inconvenience to other people. You should never feel that way as a human being. And the best way for them to end their life without being, you know, dramatic about it, I had to think about that for a minute, was to go to Dr. Kevorkian. Now, I think he did FaceTime. I'm not sure. I did a video on it. I guess I'll put the link in the video. I'll put the link in this one. And it tells you all about the history of Dr. Kevorkian. The Demon House basement. Now, as most know, if you're a true paranormal person, if you watch it, you hunt it, you're all about it, you're going to know about this story. The demon stairs. Demon house. Demon story. the one that affected him tremendously. So, and I'm going to tell you my experiences in another clip. So, with the demon stairs, it's laid out just like it is in his movie. Like, when you go into the demon stair room, it's literally laid out exactly like the way it was in the movie. Documentary. It's still saying movie, documentary. And the way he's got a creative mind. Like, he's got a very good photographic mind. Like, he can look at a photograph and make it the exact way of what the situation was, of what the actual room looked like. I mean, I give him props for that. He's very creative when it comes to wanting to put something as it was, the way it was, when it was, at its time. Like, I give him mad props for that, because you see the movie, the demon, the demon house. You ever see the basement? It looks just the same in the museum. And it's crazy. And let me tell you, the energy in there, those demon stairs, they get off a bad, just icky vibe. I mean, it's so bad, he's got holy water in there. That's just how bad it is. So, here's some, some stories on some of the artifacts that are in his museum. And I'm not going to go into detail on all of it, because then that would waste the point. That would ruin the whole thing of going into the museum, and out of respect for him. He's put a lot of time and energy into what he does. Again, I'm fascinated by the museum. I really am. I wish I'd go all the time. Wish I had the money to, because I would do the flashlight tour as much as I could. I would do the day tours as much as I could, just because I love that museum. I don't know why. Alright, so here's us entering the museum. Security walking up to us just to make sure we have a reservation, because you do have to have a reservation to do the tours. And it doesn't matter what tour, you have to have a reservation. So here we're getting our cute little flashlights. So this way we have a flashlight for the tour. And then over where you see everybody standing, that's where we have to wait. And you also have to wait there too during the day. Alright, so they're telling us the rules and regulations of the do's and don'ts. Turn off the phones, no pictures, you know, all that good happy horse stuff. Now we're going to the front where they're going to basically check us in to see if we want to borrow the equipment, and basically, again, gives us the do's and don'ts, and then separate us in our little groups. And then all of us are walking around getting ready to go into, right here is actually the back side of the museum. And then on the other side is technically the front side of the museum. And then as you will see, all of us, we start coming out from a different door. So welcome to the flashlight tour of the Haunted Museum. Alright, so I'm gonna explain a little bit about how I met the museum. Now, I started really getting into, you know, his show and everything, and then when I realized that he had a museum out here, it was like right before we moved out here, and I was like, oh my god, hell yeah. So I was really fascinated with that. And then I was like, all right, well, so when we moved out here, the first time I ever went to the museum was the day we arrived in Las Vegas. We had just had dinner, and I was like, oh my god, I want to go to the museum. Since we're here, this is the first thing I want to see. You know, it was right during COVID, everything was closed, so I mean, there wasn't really a lot of people out, but I wanted to see the museum. And this was right before I was really getting into the paranormal. Like, I was into the paranormal, but not like this, not the way I am now. So I was just learning my gifts. I was just learning, you know, who I am as a spiritual being. And I step out of the car, and I walk up to the sidewalk, and oh my god, it was like, you know how you ever had that? Have you ever seen like an atomic bomb where it goes and then like that? That's almost like how it was. It was like I got hit with a whoosh of what the, oh my god. It was so bad, I almost fell off the curb into the street behind me. Because I'm reckoning at that point, I was sensing the demon stares, and I was sensing the dybbuk box. That's how powerful at that point in time that it was. And I'm guessing this is before he had the holy water on the demon stairs, and this is before he had the wall around the dybbuk box. Because just that museum, just the outside, it's crazy. Like, you can feel some of that energy just driving by it. You can feel the energy just by walking around it. Even when you're waiting to go outside, you can feel some of the artifacts. And sometimes when you go by that house, it feels like that place is watching you. Not just because of cameras, I'm talking about the actual place. Literally feels like it's watching you. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's very detailed, it's very information, and it's very in your face. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.